Ay, Lilia, no deja de hacer tanto pichigesto, se te van a marcar las arrugas. ¿A qué?
Hi guys, welcome back to La Guaguara Matemática. In this occasion, we will solve a system of equations with two variables. Yay! What is that? This just means that we will find the value of two unknown numbers that fulfills a set of conditions in the form of two equations. In my last video, we've learned how to solve equations with a single variable. And this time, we will discuss how to solve problems that involves a set of two equations. You might be asking,
what do we even need two equations for?
well, the answer for that question is very simple. Well, guys, if we try to use just one equation to find the value of two variables, this is what would happen. For this exercise, I want to find the value of r and s. We know that to find the value of any variable, we have to isolate it. But look what happens if I do so with this r. This means that r is equal to whatever value is for s plus 3. The problem here is that I don't know how much is the value of the s. And that would be the same case if I isolate the s instead of the r. What I'm trying to say is one equation is not enough to find the value of two variables, so we're going to increase the number of equations to find those values. This means that instead of using just one equation, we're going to use two. Now that you know why we use two equations instead of just one, we can focus on how to solve the system of equations. And for that, my dear friends, we have different options. We can graph the equations, eliminate one variable to find the other, use determinants, create a single variable equation from the system by isolating one of the variables in one of the equations and then substituting it in the other equation. You get the idea, right? Think so. Attention everyone, please attention. All the methods that I just mentioned are used for the same purpose, to find the value of the variables of the equations that form the system. This means that it doesn't matter which one you use, the result is going to be the same.
Then what do I have to learn all those methods?
Well, you don't have to, but you have to consider this. Some methods are better for certain type of exercises because they make the process to find the answers easier than others. And that's why we recommend to learn several of them. Before we actually apply any method, it is good that you understand that all these methods work because the equations that form the system are equivalent. This means that although the equations are different, the value of their variables are the same. For example, we have the system with these two equations, 3s plus t equals to 6, and the other one is negative 27s minus 8t equals to negative 49. Both equations have s and t as the variables of the system. The value of the s in the first equation is exactly the same as the value of the s in the second one. And you know what? This happens too with the value of the t in both equations. And you might be asking,
why is all this important?
let me show you. If I isolate t in my first equation, this will be my result. T equals to 6 minus 3s. We already know that this is not enough to find the value of t and s. But guess what? Because these two variables are the same, or they have the same value in both equations, we can use this segment and substitute it in the other equation to create a new equation with just one variable. See, we don't have the t, but we have the way to find it once you have the value of the s. And instead of writing down the t of the second equation, I'm going to insert this segment right here to create a new equation with just one variable, which is s. This way I can easily isolate it to find its value. So let's do that.
Ay, no te caigas hojas. Espíritus que poseen esta casa, no me tumben las hojas. Quiero terminar de grabar pronto.
Sí, gracias.
No me toquen que ando chida.
So I'll multiply this negative 8 by each one of the terms inside of the parentheses. Negative 8 multiplied by 6 is the same as negative 48. And negative 8 multiplied by negative 3s is the same as 24s. This result is positive because, you know, love the signs. Hello. I'm not doing anything yet to this negative 27s and this negative 49. So I'm just going to copy those elements to the next part of the process. The result of 24s minus 27s is the same as negative 3s. So I move this negative 48 to the other side of the equation. In this side, the 48 is subtracting. That means that when you move it to the other side of the equation, you move it with the opposite operation, which is the addition. That's why instead of having negative 48 in this side of the equation, you have 48 plus 48. See? This is very important, guys. When you move elements from one side of the equation to the other side, what changes is the operation. That's why if I change a negative coefficient, the sign is not going to change because it is multiplying the variable in this side, so it moves to the other side, dividing, not adding. In this case, this negative 3 is multiplying the s. It's going to pass to the other side of the equation, dividing. It's going to divide this negative 1. Negative over negative, love signs again, is equal to positive. 1 over 3 is the same as 1/3.
That's the result of the S. Yes.
Well, guys, now that we have s, we can substitute its value in any of these two equations. Either one of them is great because the value of the variables is the same in both. I chose the second one just because in the other part of the process I work with the first equation. And every time that I find an s in the second equation, I'm going to change it by its value, which is 1/3. That's why I have negative 27 multiplied by 1/3, which is the value of the s, minus 8t equals to negative 49. Okay, guys, the result of this operation, negative 27 multiplied by 1/3, is the same as negative 27/3. This can be simplified as negative 9 because that's the result of this division. And I'm not working with this part yet, so I'm just going to copy it to the next step of the process. We're almost there, okay? We're almost there. So this 9 is subtracting in this side of the equation, so when I move it to the right side, it's going to pass adding to this negative 49. For the last part, I'm going to change this negative 8 to the other side of the equation. In this side, this negative 8 is multiplying the t. That means that when you move it to the right side, it's going to pass dividing any element that you have in there. In this case, you have negative 40. Negative 40 is going to be divided by this negative 8. The result of that operation is 5. You know, negative over negative is positive. 40 over 8 is the same as 5. And that's the answer for this system. In this case, s equals to 1/3 and t equals to 5 are the values that satisfies the set of conditions stated by the equations that form this system. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you find this type of video useful for you. Thank you so much. See you the next time. Adios!